This is the last. This is the place that 25 years ago, my wife we spent our last night in this camper, getting ready for hunting season. 3 or 4 days earlier, I found out that she was still messing around, and I couldn't take it anymore. It's been almost 2 months since I told her to get out. But the marriage was over. I couldn't do it anymore. But it's not a minute goes by that I don't think about her. It's pure hell. She has a narcissistic personality disorder. And once I caught her cheating again, I seen her true colors. She discarded me like a piece of garbage and went right on to living a la-di-da happy life, dating within just probably the same night I told her to leave. And she was only here 3 nights, and then she moved 2,000 miles away to her sister in Kentucky, left kids, grandkids. She knew that I couldn't keep forgiving her for cheating and the lies. And this last couple months, I did so much soul searching, and I realized she never did love me. I was just an object to her. And that's really hard to take. And it's hard for the kids and grandkids to understand that. They were just objects to her. Maybe someday they'll find a cure for this narcissistic personality disorder, NPD. I tell you, it's the roughest when you find out that the person you married that just doesn't exist. They never did exist. It was a fabrication persona that they put together by very carefully asked questions as they got to know you about what you want in a woman or a man, if it's a male narcissistic. But yeah, I showed my trump card too many times when we were dating, and she became my dream wife. I was really convinced. She didn't love me though. She just acted like she did. I was just an object. I mean, even during our engagement, there were times where we had a 1 year engagement, and there were times where I thought, man, something is not right. I mean, it doesn't take an hour to go to the store and get a loaf of bread, and her come back all glowing and giggly, and no, it wasn't drugs. It did eventually lead to drugs for a while, but it just depended on which guys she was hooking up with. What they did, she did. Yeah, this is right there on the top bunk. If you believe that your spouse or mate has NPD, you need to check it. Don't, I turned a blind eye for 20 some years. I knew there was something bad wrong. I knew she was cheating. I didn't want to face it. I thought, well, maybe she'll grow out of this mess. And I just tried not to think about it. But a couple years ago, I couldn't turn a blind eye anymore. She swore on August 20th, 2015, when she finally admitted to a couple of affairs, she swore to God she'd never do that again to me. And I just asked one thing from her: prove to me that the saying, once a cheater, always a cheater, is false. She said she would. She put on a very convincing show because at that very time she had a very steady boyfriend for almost 5 years running. Them two had been hooking up every chance they got. They've been texting back and forth right from our marital bed. So a narcissistic, they don't care, and they can put on a very convincing lie. But I'll tell you something else about narcissistic personality disorder. If you learn it, they always trip themselves up because everything's a lie, everything's a fantasy, and you just gotta look for the signs. Notice the warning, the red flags, the warning signs, and follow through with them. Uh, and that's basically what happened in this camper that last night. Is I laid there most of the night, going through everything in my head, and I knew she had that NPD. She had no remorse. I knew she'd been hooking back up with this guy or several guys that I know for a fact that at the very most, at one time, she had 3 different lovers. But yeah, you're looking at the face of a fool. Good grief. I'm an old man. I really didn't want to spend my last days alone. My dream all my life was grandpa and grandma. And it's gone. My dream was to share my life with my wife and become grandparents. And it's too late for me to find somebody else now. I mean, sure, I can find a girlfriend, I guess, when I get over this mess. After almost 2 months, I'm getting worse, not better, because the longer it goes on, the more convinced, well, not convinced, I should say, the more my mind is seeing reality. This camera. And I can look back over the past 25 years, and especially the last 2 years, she did not love me. Her interests were all on other guys. I mean, here's a 49-year-old woman that only a man like me, that her and I made one child together. I have some kids from my first marriage, but she could never have kids. And I gave her a daughter. We made a daughter with God's help, and a lot of money. But yeah, after she had our baby, she couldn't wait to send a picture of it to one of her boyfriends. It's a hard pill to swallow. I don't. The longer reality sets in, the more I just, it's getting harder and harder, because I realized that I was a chump. I was a schmuck. But I can take that. But what hurts the most is how she just discarded me like garbage and then tried to destroy my character and make it out like she was a perfect wife. Just I didn't even get drawn into that mess. I expected it because I'd studied NPD, and so I was kind of ready for most of the crap that they pull when the mask slips off. But I tell you, that's a tough pill to swallow when you realize you finally realize they never did love you. You were just an object. And once they lost control of you, they had no more use for you. Uh, and that's when the destruction comes. They'll say horrible things about you. They'll do horrible things to you, like the way she. Uh, I won't badmouth her anymore, but let's just say she would sleep with guys that she knew would really, really cut me to the bone, and she'd make sure I'd find out about it. That's the destructive behavior is real. Wish me luck. Pray for me. Maybe sometime I'll meet a woman that is a real wife, a real woman that can be a real wife. That is.